Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Outlander, Season 6, Episode 4, Hour of the Wolf. So if anybody watching has watched our Bridgerton coverage, Will got me sick, so...
And I'm just really tired. Yesterday was a day.
I feel like you're also just waiting to get sick now, too.
I'm just kind of like, just box stepping. We're like, it's
like,
only a matter of time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So... It's a good thing, I think, that this was a pretty inconsequential episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot happened. We basically got the story of what happened to Ian with the Mohawk and why he, eventually came back. We already knew that.
Yeah,
I thought maybe it's just because of the books and we had talked about it, but, I also thought we just kind of assumed. I guess we did. He's told parts of the story to multiple different people.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just sort of useless.
Yeah, it was just all this episode was the scenes were very abrupt.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot was said. And especially with Ian's thing, I don't really need any of that.
I didn't need a flashback. I think, John Bell, I think he does a good enough job acting, just telling the story so that we know the depth of his sadness about it.
I did not enjoy him in his reenactment or in the flashback. I didn't like it as much.
I agree. I think it was not quite as good. And it's not to say he did a bad job, but it was just to me, there was so much more impact, hearing him tell Brianna and hearing him tell Jamie parts of the story. It was nice to get a lot more First Nations actors on screen. Yeah. I like that part of it a real lot. And a lot of them were also very good. And the one guy was hot as balls.
The guy from the Mohawk?
Yeah, his name is Braden Clark, his acting name. Whoa.
Yeah, he could.
His entire face.
Yeah.
For me. So, I don't know. It just is sort of annoying when we've already hashed through this information and then to narratively rehash it. I'm sort of I guess, but and the whole conceit of why we did that is because he finally, I guess, tells Jamie the entire story start to finish because the Mohawk, his Mohawk buddy from before is with the Cherokee doing trading.
Which I kind of felt like we were in for a little bit of trouble for just how quickly his entrance scene cut to Ian and Jamie in the Longhouse.
Yeah.
It was very abrupt and kind of so we're just not going to get an interaction until later?
Yeah, that's the other thing too is a lot of the cuts and stuff, the edit of this episode was really we keep saying abrupt, but it was very choppy and bizarre.
Yeah, it was it was a 3-page script and they had to fill the space. And so it was a lot of landscape, screensavers.
Yeah.
Almost.
Which again, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love drone B-roll of North Carolina as much as the next person. It's lovely to look at, but come on. I mean, you cut down your episode order to 8 and you still can't. And this is one of the longer books. They just keep getting longer. It's not like they get shorter.
No, because we have the Bees book and it's this thick and the print is teeny tiny.
Small. So I don't know. It just feels a little strange. And even the scene with Brianna telling Jamie about the Trail of Tears and everything, it was as if she read a synopsis of a 10th grade American history book where she just was well, they're gonna force them all to out west and they're gonna make them walk and it's gonna be called the Trail of Tears and 8,000 people will die. And it's just okay, yes, that's all accurate, but you wanna put a little mustard on that? You wanna put some spin? What are we doing here? So I don't know. It's just all it felt a little teachy.
Yeah, and it felt teachy and
although in complete fairness, we as American white people need to be taught.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
Because when Jamie told the chief the name of the man, Wilfred Scott or whatever, and I'm I completely forgot about that name. I was just we all just collectively as white people were get the fuck out.
Well, I also, first of all, props to Brianna for remembering that because I feel I learned this stuff in 7th grade and then it was never mentioned again.
It was just kind of all right, they know.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So so it's very sugar-coated when we learn it, too, because we're too young for anything, but yet we can read The Great Gatsby.
Yeah. Well, and I even did a play in 4th grade that my social studies teacher wrote called O'Maheaton in the Time of Corn.
Woof.
Yeah. I played the role of O'Maheaton. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Congratulations, and also...
Yeah. Well, you know, we even had, like, the evil white man, like, come in and, like, you know, kind of mess things up.
Yeah, dude, Scotchy whatever. I don't remember his last name.
Cameron.
Mm-hmm. Man. I don't even really want to get into that.
I don't either. It was just kind of unnecessary. Just like, so he was unnecessary. All of the sex scenes were really unnecessary.
Yeah, look, I know that Claire and Jamie are down to clown, and I know that okay, but that is kind of one of my ongoing issues with this show is that, like, I want to see them bone sometimes. Mm-hmm. We do. They're beautiful people. They have excellent chemistry. I love that aspect of Jamie and Claire's relationship has not waned as they are both, you know, approaching their mid-40s or 50s or whatever. I really appreciate all of that. And so I like that it remains present. However, it doesn't need to be this present. Especially when you're grasping for plot this badly.
Yeah, because I feel like it doesn't even happen all that often in the book. It's just kind of like, I don't know. In the books, it even starts to kind of fade to black almost.
It does, yeah. It's only really, really a lot in, like, the first 2 books that they talk a lot of, because they're in the honeymoon phase, the most passionate phase of their marriage, and then they literally fuck the house down when she comes back in time again for him after Frank dies, because Jenny fucking rips them a new one about it.
Fucks the house. That's great. I mean, it is a very apt description.
Jenny gets so mad. She's like, I have 5 kids in this house.
Yeah.
Like,
you are running shit like animals.
Also, for other fucking the house down, please watch season 6 of Buffy.
Yes.
But I just am sort of like, it doesn't need to be as present as it is. And especially in this episode, it felt like filler.
Yep.
It definitely felt like just like time filler because we didn't have enough.
Well, and then we even did that with Ian and his Mohawk wife.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we didn't need to do that to that First Nations woman, first of all.
Well, and she was in control. She was in control.
You know, she was, but it's just kind of like, did we need this? I don't know. I like, he said as much when he was like, she got with child again, and I was good at that part. Like, that, enough said, we don't, I mean. Also,
though, then again, that sex scene wasn't proof of him being good at that part.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, regardless, Scotchy and the Mohawk guy, they get into like a duel essentially, and he basically proves that Scotchy's a coward, and he's like, I'm satisfied later. And they leave, and he and Ian part well, you know, because she couldn't stay pregnant with Ian, and it was like because his like Mohawk spirit isn't strong enough or something.
Couldn't tame her spirit because they said that for a woman to get with child, then the Mohawk man's spirit has to tame the woman's spirit, and that's how she can like take his seed or whatever.
So anyway, the other guy got her pregnant, and it stuck, and they have a son, and he's walking and everything. So it's like they ended up parting well, and we found out that she just gives those bracelets to anyone. Come on, man.
I mean, and it was like the beads were slightly a different, like there was more.
They were
blue.
in a different pattern. Yeah,
I think they were very similar patterns.
Yeah,
but I mean, just doling out bracelets left, right, and center.
Come on, Emily.
Yeah.
So that's all fine, and Ian gets rid of his little wolf necklace. But he keeps the bracelet. We were kind of thinking he should have gone the opposite way.
Yeah, because then just be like, oh, it's my talisman for not Atso. What's the wolf's name?
Rollo.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the candy. Mm-hmm. Moving on from that, Jamie sends Fergus to be like their trader, I guess. He's like going to sell their wares, essentially, and he's meant to go see Jocasta at Cross Creek. And then the only other thing that like fills out this episode is Claire and Malva are doing like experiments kind of with the ether, and Malva is learning more, getting creepier.
She's a fucking serial killer. She has serial killer eyes.
She does. She is too excited about putting Lizzie and or Josie under the ether.
She even said, she was like, it was like we killed him and then we brought him back to life.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's no good.
No.
All shades of what's to come. So it was sort of fun, though, because Lizzie and then Josiah, they both were like, as soon as they woke up, they were like, when are we starting? And it's just like, but she like sliced Lizzie's finger. And I'm like, Lizzie has housework to do.
I mean, it'd be fine.
I can't do housework when I have a paper cut for like 3 days. Like, can't. And she sliced her with her scalpel.
She has Josiah and Kezzy to do her bidding.
Sure, of course.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
So then she's telling Kezzy about it later. And we can see Malva kind of throwing her stuff around too, trying to like, she's literally just sort of trying to get it in anywhere. And I think part of it, with the tragic part of it and the sad part of it, is that I think she's trying to just like find a dude so she can leave her father's house.
Yeah.
Which is super fair. But she's going about it all wrong.
Yeah, you keep throwing yourself at men who are not available.
Yeah. And then she sneaks in and watches Claire and Jamie having sex in the barn.
Honestly, the biggest jolt of energy I got from the entire episode was that part.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it,
felt very illicit.
Yeah. The rest of the episode, I was kind of like dicking around on my phone. Yeah. And then when they like, Jamie and Claire are like disrobing each other, and then they move, and you just see Malva's eyes like this. I went like that. I recoil, and then they like show her stand up on her toes to watch.
Yeah. Well, she has no idea, and her father's not telling. I mean, I understand aspects of what she's doing, but as a whole, it's very worrisome.
Girl, you a creep.
Yeah, she's a super creep. So the only other thing is that Jamie and Ian did bring the guns to the Cherokee. And then Jamie did tell the Cherokee chief, he was like, hey, this is coming. My wife and my daughter can like, they have dreams that are going to happen. Like they see what's going to happen. And he was like, so in 60 years, this is going to happen. This is the guy's name. He's going to make you guys move. You should hide when it happens. And he basically is like, if nothing can be done, like, because he's like, well, we have guns now. And he's like, well, there's going to be like 20,000 people. You can't do anything. And he was like, so then why would you tell me? And he was like, well, so you can hide and like, just make sure that you tell everybody. And he says he will. And I mean, we just know it's not going to do any good. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Some of the redcoats were still at the house at the beginning of the episode. And the colonel or general or whoever he is still allergic to ADSO. And I mean, we established that in the previous episode. So
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. And I guess that, and then the other thing is that Jamie basically told Chief Bird, he was like, you have to, whoever you end up fighting with, make sure you fight for yourself. That's excellent advice for everybody, not even just for war times, for whatever, for everybody. And then Ian has sort of he's managed to reconcile his Mohawk person self and Ian. So it's nice. It's like some stuff's nice, but it's also, I feel like they really tried hard and there was just not enough there in this episode.
And again, going back to what you said, I mean, there's plenty to mine from this book that they're pulling from. So why was it so hard to fill this episode?
No, I don't know. Super bizarre. It doesn't really make any sense to me. So it looks like next week we're going to get a reckoning about Roger spending so much time with Amy McCallum, I think her last name is.
Sure.
So, but that seems like then the majority of that episode. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, and then we did see like some unrest, probably in like downtown New Bern.
So. Yeah. Yep.
It's the revolution is really kicking off.
It's afoot. All right.
Yay.
Well, we'll be back next week.
Hopefully feeling better and more awake.
Hopefully feeling better and on time because we are a day late with this because the Oscars were on last night. So
and everything is on fire.
Everything's sucks,
on fire.
Everything's terrible. So
yeah, stay off the internet.
Yeah. So we will see you next week.
Bye.